What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Boozer here. Thanks for stopping by. Hopefully, you guys having a great day so far. In today's video, we're going to be talking about a upcoming event that's going to be happening this weekend. Keep in mind that it will not be associated with the Echoes of Oz campaign. Let's jump right into it, and we have this. Hey guys, this Friday, August 14th, we're planning to launch the Gloom Eater Path, where you have a chance to get Kamir, Skull Hides, Soul, and other valuable goodies. So this is going to be the event for Kamir's Soul. How will we get points for his path? Well, it's going to be getting artifacts and accessories, so the dungeon diving or gear hunting component. And then the secondary component will be summoning champions from shards. Now, it specifically says summoning champions from shards, so this is not going to be champion chase style. It's just going to be summoning from shards, taking shard quality into account for the points. The rewards you can earn from this event include Kamir's Skull Eyes 3-Eye Soul, 4 and 5 Split Souls, as well as gleaming free gems of various rarities to craft relics in the forge. Okay, so a little bit interesting here. Sometimes these Heroes Path events, they're only strictly for the 5-star souls, so it really commits you to the big reward at the end. It very much has like a all or nothing kind of mentality. In this case, we do have the option at the 3, 4, and 5-star soul. Now that makes it a little bit interesting. What else is interesting are these gleaming free gems. So these are the relic materials from the Forge Pass. All right. So the Forge Pass, very scarce in terms of giving away these relic materials. But the relics are very good, and some of the best are in here. So, for example, we have the Dread Bomb. The Dread Bomb, one of the best mythical relics, also one of the rarest ones. Crit damage, front stat with speed on the secondary. Wear has a 10% chance to gain an extra turn when attacking. Now, I don't have to tell you guys how strong that is because Relentless Set is a whole set, 4 pieces, and it only gives you 16%. This relic gives you 10% right out of the gate, and you can improve it all the way up to 20%. Where also ignores 10% of an enemy's defense when attacking during extra turn. So when you're attacking with your, 16, 18, 20% chance of getting an extra turn, you're going to ignore 10% of the target's defense with those attacks. Needless to say, very strong, gaining extra attacks, gaining the ignore defense. And also something else is that you have 3 gems, triangle slots. I called these diamond slots in a previous video, but these are diamond slots. The diamond gem slots are the strongest for damage dealer. So you got 3 of them here, which is absolutely amazing. So yeah, the Dread Bomb, one of the best damage dealing relics in the game, but also one of the rarest. And we're gonna have the opportunity to get some relic material, right? So not sure what kind of relic material or how expensive it's gonna be, but I'm sure that's gonna be enticing to some players. Up next for the mythical relics from this, from this group, the Immortal Visage. This is also a very good relic. Front stat, we got speed, so 24 speed. That's really nice. Once per round, wear is revived with 50% HP and 50% turn meter. Very basic almost, but it's amazing, right? You only gain extra HP and extra turn meter with the improvements, but of course you want to improve this anyways because you want the front main stat. And then once per round, your wear, just revives. So you instantly put a cheat death on basically any champion that you want. This mythical, although it's very simple, it's just very effective. And of course, you can move this around on all your champions to whatever champion fits the meta or whatever champion you're needing for that certain situation. This is going to be very strong. Again, very rare coming from this Forge Pass group. We just don't get a lot of materials for this. This is one of the very few opportunities where somebody that doesn't buy the Forge Pass might have access to these materials so that they can get some of these relics. The legendary ones are also pretty decent. We got the Bane of Centranos here. Whenever an enemy receives a buff, the wearer has a 15% chance of getting the same buff for 2 turns. That percentage is going to go up to 30% if you max it out. Very simple, but actually pretty decent. Accuracy on the front stat, always appreciated. And then lastly, Blades of Akamori. This one got a little bit of a buff because of the whole provoke being able to handle Mercurial. So whenever an ally is attacked by an enemy, the wearer has 15% chance of placing provoke, and that's going to go up to 30%. Also with the accuracy on the main stat. So this one got a little bit better too, the Blades of Akamori. But all four of these relics, the legendaries and the mythicals, are very, very decent. Now, the epics here from this group also have some use. The Exile's Crown, you get the front stat resistance, which could be helpful, where it receives 1% less damage for each debuff on them. And that's going to go up all the way up to 5% if you fully max it out. And then Andromeda's Diadem. Whenever this Whenever the wearer heals an ally with an active skill, has a 10% chance to decrease the cooldown of one of the wearer's skills by 1 turn. And that percentage chance is going to go up to 5, 10, 15, up to 25%. So you put this on a healer, they got a chance for extra turns. Not extra turns, sorry. You get a chance to decrease the cooldown of wearer skills, which again can be very impactful, can be very good. So for epics, also very solid in this group. Now, I guess for the main event reward from this Gloom Path is going to be Kamir's 5-star soul. Kamir, I think, is an excellent champion. He's probably carrying you right now if you're early or mid game and you could somehow got him from the fusion. Very good champion. The speed in all battles and all that. Turn meter boosting, increased attack, increased speed, and then the full team revive and a full team heal here. Also very strong. This guy is, pretty much total package in terms of what you want for a support champion. He just doesn't bring any kind of crowd control himself, which is bad, but he offers a lot in his kit just to help support your team. Does he require the 3, 4, and 5-star soul? It really depends on how you're using him. If you're an end game player and you feel like you're going to use him in some kind of PvP capacity, you want as much stats as you want as possible on him. So of course the 5-star soul is going to be very impactful. You might even fit him with the 5-star like intimidating presence, for example, as a backup intimidating presence. Or you want to use him in something like siege, your siege eccentric Ogren tribe teams. You definitely want the highest blessing possible, right, to get the most stats. But for the majority of people, I think you don't necessarily need the 5-star soul for this guy because he's not really going to benefit too much from his kit by having the 4-star for crit damage or the 5-star for additional accuracy, right? Obviously, the blessing gets better as the higher rank you go, but is it worth all those resources, right? He doesn't benefit from additional accuracy. Resistance, if you have him in a resistance build, then yes, resistance is going to be helpful. Crit damage, he doesn't really benefit from crit damage. He only has one attack here on his A1. And you're not necessarily going to build him out with damage. So what about the 3-star? The 3-star is where it's very interesting. The 3-star gives you, obviously the 1-star, 2-star, and 3-star. 1-star is going to give you HP, and then 2-star is going to give you attack, and 3-star is going to give you defense. I think the 3-star is the best kind of reasonable compromise here for Kamir because it gives you the stats that you really want on him, which is going to be HP and defense just to keep him going, right? Now, the 3-star isn't going to give him, obviously, the highest blessing boost. So you're not really too focused on the blessing effect. But in terms of just overall stats, the 3-star seems very reasonable. And I think I would suggest for most people to go for his 3-star just to give him some extra stats so you can be a little bit more tanky in whatever content you're using him in. Personally, for myself, I'm probably going to go for the 3-star for Kamir. I don't see myself using this guy in any kind of really serious capacity. I mean, definitely the 5-star would be helpful for just additional stats for faction wars and stuff. That's where I'm going to be mainly using this guy. But I'm not too sure if I want to commit, 15, 16, 17, 18 sacred shards for his 5-star soul. Now, the gleaming free gems, I'm actually kind of interested in. Not too sure how much that's going to cost or what's going to be available. I assume that they're going to put 100 mythical mats for the Forge Pass mats somewhere in that path, and I think it's it really depends. Usually in these Heroes Path events, the mythical relic material doesn't end up being that expensive relative to the summon rush summon rush events. So usually in summon rush events, they're going to give us 100 mythical mats. If they do, it's going to cost you 20 sacred shards worth of points. In Heroes Path, it's usually a lot less. So I would probably be interested in considering the mythical mats for the Forge Pass group if they're somewhat reasonable. And usually somewhat reasonable is going to be about 10 sacred shards worth of points. Obviously, it's a pretty big gamble. If you guys only have enough for the soul or the relic gambling, obviously take the soul, it's guaranteed value. But this is just one of those rare occasions where I can obtain some of those mythical mats from a really scarce group. So I'm obviously going to pay attention and see how much it's going to cost. There's no boosted event or anything like that happening this weekend. We just had 2x voids. So the next boosted event will be next weekend, not the upcoming weekend. I'm sitting on 44 sacred shards right now. Definitely want to hold as much as possible. We do have a collab coming up, or not a collab, it's a campaign featuring the Wizard of Oz. This event has nothing to do with Wizard of Oz, but that Wizard of Oz event is coming. So I want to save as much resources as I can going into that campaign. And this is also something you guys should probably be aware of. Just if you're spending resources, you have to be aware that you are potentially spending resources that you could be using for more guaranteed events, right? For those new campaign champions from the Wizard of Oz. So it's always something we have to consider, future events and all that stuff. If you guys are not using Kamir heavily, this is probably going to be a pass, unless the summoning event is like extremely juicy, like 2x primals or something. It's very unlikely that they're going to do anything like that. Anyways, guys, that's going to be it for this video. Hopefully it was informative for you guys. Like I said, there's going to be a hero's path for Kamir's 3, 4, and 5-star soul coming this weekend, as well as relic materials from the Forge Pass up for grabs this weekend. It's going to be Gear Hunter style plus summoning shards. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think. Are you guys planning or excited for this event? Are you guys going to go for any of those rewards? Appreciate you guys watching until the end. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you guys in the next video.